Hey, everyone's on our squares this time.
Hello, this is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and I'm going to hand you over to Bad Kyle. Go, do the thing. You're in charge now. I abdicate the throne. Do the thing.
Fine, fine. I see how it is. Somebody did our art. We got music from somewhere. Characters are from a place
Yes.
where heroes might be forged, but
Yes.
maybe they're not. You
That's
never know.
Yes.
See?
Oh, okay, perfect. All right.
To me? All right.
Yeah, that's you. I should probably do the rest of the room. Oh, I know who I'm doing next. 3, 2, 1. Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know you're cracked, but did you also have your stuff ready?
Nope.
Nope. Cool. Tell us about your stuff you don't have ready.
Oh, all the stuff that I don't have ready. Yes, thank you. I do see that because I am in chat right now. My name's Sarah. You can find me over on Tango Productions over on YouTube. I'm working on an incredible project with the Scar Adventurer called Bravely Broken. There's going to be stuff on that very soon. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, yeah. So I run DV Futures on Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I am in this game as Elizabeth. I am in the Friday game as Vic.
Yep.
And I am in the Sunday game as Bite.
Yes. Currently, that's all.
I think I got it all.
All right. Cool. Next, let's go to Amy Amethyst. Yeah, multiple things.
Hello.
Tell us about your own self.
I'm here Tuesday nights. I've got a bunch of other tabletop games of mostly 5e, but also Pathfinder 2e. I play. Been playing a lot of different Zelda games recently, but not much online presence outside of Discord.
Yeah, that's a good place and a very nice segue for me to pitch our Discord, which is a really nice place. You don't find nicer places, very many places. I'm just going to make sure I put it in the right place. Speaking of places, I almost put it in the chat, but everybody there knows it because that's where it's from. Right, there is the link, or something very much like one. Somebody already beat me to it, and I'm too slow. So there's that. Moving on. Shadow/Shadowmancer / True Shadowmancer. Tell us about yourselves.
Too many slashes. I feel like I'm being cut here. Hello, everybody. I'm Shadow, also known as the True Shadowmancer. You can find me hanging about sometimes in the 3020 Gaming Discord. I'm also one of the founders of the Desperate Dice Rollers, and I'm getting put in tonight. So there we go. We're in the area as well.
Oh, thank you.
You can find me here Tuesday nights as Lester Moore, obviously. Thursday nights as Woodja, because that's Deviant Futures.
Yep.
And occasionally on Sundays as Gerard St. Germain in Gorgeous Theta.
Yes. All right, and that brings us all the way around the circle to me. I'm here on all the nights that they're not, mostly, and we are here if everything goes to plan. Everybody out there who knows anything about RPGs, knowing scheduling can be tough, but the scheduling is 7 nights a week, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time, Pacific time. That's 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. Eastern. We're trying to be here all of those days. So if we're not, it just means people couldn't show up and we had to cancel. But we don't have to cancel tonight. So, back. Please take us away.
All right. When last we left this group, although they weren't entirely grouped together, they had invaded the Leech People's actually really nice hotel room, found a bathtub full of leech babies, killed said leech babies, actually talked to one and then killed it, rather than let it escape through the toilets. Honestly, the murder might have been the nicer option there. Found a odd looking, possibly mystical compact, and everybody except Bang, who is now wanted for arson, intimidating a deputy, disturbing the peace, and a number of other issues and doesn't know that everybody else is heading to Hank's house. So there's no telling what he's going to do, but it will probably be bad for somebody. Maybe him, definitely somebody else. And that's where he left off. Everybody except Bang was heading over to Hank's with the compact, thinking they found something important, and Bang was just trying not to, be spotted and possibly lynched.
Yes.
Hank grabbed him at the end of the session, right?
Yes, Hank did grab him by the end of the session.
Right.
And
Yes.
steered him towards the meeting.
Yep, he was like, "You may want to go this way, my friend."
You don't need shadow magic. You're just a sneaky prick. Holy cow. I almost shit myself. Whew.
I'm
Okay.
glad that you didn't. Although there were,
Well,
clothes
yeah,
in
you're
a
right
tin
behind
bathtub,
me.
but,
Holy
yeah.
cow.
I find it pays to not be a one-trick pony, as it were.
I'm going to try not to take that as a personal insult. We should go.
You've done at least 2 tricks now. So
Oh, I'm full of tricks.
yeah.
Arson and murder?
Murder is not really a trick. It's more like a skill.
Well, you can get paid for it, but regardless, yeah, Hank is gonna steer you back to the house, and you'll fortuitously arrive
Yes.
roughly at the same time. Amanda, Beth, Lester, and Irene all also gather at the house, and whether through mystical means or just good timing or something else, Bang is not seen by any of the many people who are now looking for a person who set the saloon on fire after calling them all sorts of sinful things that they definitely are, but don't like to be reminded
Oh,
of.
yes. Mm-hmm.
But that's always the way with preachers, I suppose.
The
So-
secular world is tricky that way. They don't want to talk about the truth at all.
That's great. So Hank just sees, oh, yes, good. We're all here. Please come in. He'll unlock the door and usher everybody into the parlor and put out some, this time, nice chilled water or beer or whiskey if somebody wants it. But he's going to start with water, and we'll just see whether or not things escalate. Once he's had a seat, still looking very dapper in a nice new fresh suit. Not at all looking dusty as many would, normally being out and about in Tombstone. He just glances around at everybody and says, "So, I'm assuming you're here because you found something or because you need further assistance. What can I do for you, or what can you do for me?"
Well, you are correct. We have found something.
We did?
Yeah.
You guys did.
Lester found it after everyone else had left. So I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
think-
yeah. Forget that he
So
gave
I
them the
reckon
SWAT and everything.
the girls don't know about it.
Well, we have found that he's been put in his hench creatures. Reluctant to call them henchmen because I'm not entirely certain what they really are. But he's been boarding them up in a hotel in fairly nice accommodations and has the presidential room all to himself.
Of course.
There is something else that we came across that you could probably shed some light on. And at that point, I pull out the compact.
It's like, oh, don't open that. Dude,
I had no intentions to, but by your reaction, it is familiar.
it is familiar. There's a long and involved history to that compact that I'm not really going to go over right now because it's not really germane. But what I can tell you is it allows someone to share an aspect of their power. So in this case, if that was with the leech people, and I've heard about what was left behind after you all tangled with them, then that's probably what they were using to steal shadows for Honest John. I mean, why do it yourself when you can order out?
So it's a shadow box.
And if I'm understanding the explanation correctly, it's a gift lender.
Of a sort. You have to have a power that can be shared. In the hands of somebody who doesn't have any mystical powers whatsoever or supernatural abilities, it's just a kind of creepy mirror. Although even in that case, I don't suggest looking into it for too long. But in this case, I'm assuming it's what let John gather shadows without having to be the one who gathered the shadows.
So the likelihood of those shadows still being trapped in this thing are not very high then.
That depends. Do you know if John's actually here to collect them?
That is the one piece of information we have not gotten firm confirmation on yet. Although there's a whole lot of security on that itty bitty little room of his.
Yeah, that would make sense. He wouldn't want, if he's not there, he wouldn't want anybody sneaking in and setting up some unpleasant surprises for him. And there are plenty of people who would like to do so. And if he is there, he generally doesn't want to be bothered. He likes to be the one who bothers other people. So,
What do we do with this?
well, there's a couple options. One certain thing is that John will be looking to recover that. Even if there are no shadows currently still trapped within it, it still contains a fragment of the power he stole from me. And as long as that compact has that power, he can't access it. He can do all his other mystical tricks, everything that he saw me do or has figured out on his own, but he won't be able to top himself off again, as it were, without reclaiming the compact and either giving it to another agent to use or simply withdrawing his power from it.
Would you be able to use this to recover any of your power?
I cannot, no. He still, as long as he still has the artifact that originally stole my shadow abilities, I could use the compact, as could anybody that it was given to, possibly a little better because I'm familiar with the power, but I cannot use it to withdraw that fragment of my power because it considers currently John to be the originator.
So what I am understanding then is one of us could potentially use this to, say, steal shadows.
You could, yes. You can't really do anything with those shadows, but you could steal them.
What if one were to steal Honest John's shadow?
That won't happen. The power that he has is stronger than the power of the compact. So you can't turn it on him, but you do have something that he will be desperate to get back. I think he's become rather reliant on my stolen abilities, and losing access to them would panic him, I imagine.
And it specifically has to be some ability he put into the compact to be used.
Correct. Another, I don't know if this is what you were thinking, but another power could be put into the compact, but that would return what he had invested into the compact to him. It would eject it, and that fragment of power, even if not the shadows that might be stored in there, the fragment of power would return to him, and he could once again reap his own shadows.
No, more of what I was thinking was along the lines of stopping his little tuning fork trick?
I may be misunderstanding, but how would that little thing hurt any of us right now? And she's gonna go and try to like reach for it.
Is that going to be contested roll, or are you going to try and stop
Oh.
her, Lester?
Definitely palming it back into my hand as she reaches for it.
All right. Give me straight agility rolls from both of you.
What is my agility?
I don't know what it is, but it's precious.
3,
All right.
because I have a 1d4.
You ever do that thing when you try to grab something and you bend your thumb back in the process? Actually, did you roll your wild die?
3.
Okay.
Okay.
Just making sure.
5.
5.
All right. So Amanda Beth tries to snag the shiny object, and Lester, being dab hand with a gun, good with cards and all, is just like, no, let's not do that.
I'm just saying, how can something that little be any danger?
Bye.
Elizabeth, you've seen what I can do with a card. Just a simple
Yes.
playing card. This is more than just one of my playing cards.
If it helps, bullets are itty bitty, and they can do lots of damage.
How can your brother decimate a city bank vault with just a few seeds?
I mean, that was an accident.
Accident or no, I think it may be one.
True.
And if Hank yet says we shouldn't be opening this compact up, I'm inclined to take his advice.
But if it's full of shadows, what happens if we fill it full of light?
Well, you might free the shadows, you might destroy the shadows, but you won't kill the power that's in the compact unless one of you has some sort of light power you attempt to substitute.
And if we did, all we would be doing is returning that ability back to Honest John for his use later on.
Yeah. Right now, he's at a disadvantage he probably doesn't even realize yet. Things are aligning against dear John. I'm here. You are all here. You now have a fragment of his stolen power. He cannot recharge his shadows. Unfortunately, I don't know a lot about the tuning fork trick that you mentioned. I've seen a bit of the aftermath, but
Yes, if he strikes a tuning fork to that piece of crystallized ghost rock that he has acquired, it paralyzes everybody around him other than himself.
I haven't heard of something that does that before.
Apparently, he can only do it with the stone.
That makes sense. He tends to acquire objects of power, or try to acquire objects of power and abuse them until they break, and then he looks for something else.
Oh, good. That's kind of what I plan to do to him. Hank, can I borrow some clothes?
I think we might have some things that fit you. He points out of the parlor. He goes up the stairs, down the corridor to the right, second door on the right.
Okay.
There'll be some clothes there.
I gotta go look for as dapper as I can find.
All right. Just real quick, roll me a d6 and tell me what you get.
A 1.
Well, what you find is
Bang's got a
rags.
very specific version of dapper.
That's fair. You can Bang. We'll get to what Bang finds.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Lester's
Yeah.
while he's doing that.
Yep. I'm already basically wearing rags. So.
Yeah.
But yeah, I am now officially out of the scene.
Edward had some theories as to how this worked in the properties, but to be perfectly honest, they were beyond my understanding. It is something to be of concern since we were in a small cluster at the time. I have no idea how far this effect extends when he uses it.
Well, that is worrisome. We do need a way to counteract it. Did anybody like cover their ears or anything when?
I did myself, and that still affected me. So it seems to work not just on being able to be heard, but Edward said something about the uh, subcellular levels.
I think
Under a tail?
probably what Edward was trying to say is it didn't matter if you heard it. It mattered if you felt it.
Hmm.
Didn't y'all say something about it only affecting the living?
Well, the amount of information we have is limited as it affected us, not John, nor did it affect any of the pack animals we had with us. So I wouldn't say it only affected the living.
Well, the only idea that comes to my mind would be setting up a larger tuning fork. And when he goes to bang his, you bang yours. And maybe they'll cancel out. I don't know. I know my magic pretty well. This
Or we prevent him from banging his tuning fork by making sure that it doesn't make contact with that stone.
that's fair as well. You said he put it into his chest?
As he did.
Well, unless he comes at us shirtless, it'll take him a minute. I would figure to pop everything open and give it a wang. So I hope, hopefully, maybe somebody can shoot it out of his hand or stun him.
Well, I'm a bit reluctant to put my faith into that kind of luck and timing,
Hmm.
as experience has also presented that Honest John is prepared for most contingencies. And if he feels that he's facing a threat, he may not leave it in his chest, but have it somewhere near at hand.
That makes sense. He's a wily old bastard. I'd admire him if I didn't hate him so much. I really hate him.
One can respect the skills and understandings of one's foe without having to like them.
That is fair. So what we have are at least 2 pieces of bait, a bit of forewarning, and I don't know much else. Still, we're still not sure if he's actually there. Pretty sure with what we've got, we could draw him somewhere, but
Well, it does occur to me that if he was having his leech folk use this compact steel shadows for him, if he was still to draw off that power, he'd have to be nearby to take them out. Yes.
he'd have to actually have it on his person. They would have had to go out, deliver, capture the shadows, deliver it to him directly. He would draw out the shadows, kind of like just, withdrawing money from an envelope, and hand it back for them to go get him more fuel.
Can
Which indicates that he does
yeah.
need to be somewhere in the vicinity.
Correct.
Can you tell if it's been withdrawn from recently, as it were?
Usually not without opening it, but if you don't mind, I can try something. We'll see. He takes it. He does not open it, of course. And he holds it in his hands for a moment and kind of hums and rocks back and forth. There are two shadows in there right now.
Well, then that fits recent activities. It tells us that he hasn't had a chance to withdraw those shadows.
I must
No
say,
matter what
thank you
happens
for
when
not
this is all over, we need to let them go. Those are fragments
Without
of the people they were taken from.
without question, so. But our current dilemma is how to utilize this to draw him out. As you said, he is apparently currently unaware that it is in our possession, which is in our benefit. But to use it to draw him out, he'll have to become aware that it's no longer under one of the minions' care.
I-
Which removes that benefit.
I was just thinking, how many shadows would he be expecting in there?
I can't say for certain. I don't know how many shadows he needs to top himself off. I don't know if it is going to take more shadows as time goes on, or if he's used his powers heavily. Did you find any communications on the creatures you?
Now, we weren't able to find any form of communication, but it's entirely possible that communication may have gone through other channels.
It's possible, but they were out hunting the night that you encountered them, right? So I would
Correct.
imagine they're at least expecting 3.
If not more,
If not
meaning
more.
he might be expecting some type of, feast here, and he's only got 2 courses.
Well, right now he doesn't have any courses.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Is that a way we could poison his meal, as it were?
That I don't know. I don't know how we could possibly do that without also poisoning the fragments of spirit from those 2 murdered young people. And while I want my revenge, there are some paths I'm not willing to walk to get it.
Well, then, it seems like our best option is to figure out a place that we want to draw him to, and then let word get to him that his little toy here can be found in that location. He's going to be expecting some kind of trap or ambush, regardless of what we try to do once he knows that it's no longer his. So our best option will be to make sure that the playing field is one of our choice, not his.
I may have an idea. So, Lester, do you still have that key to that room?
Yes, I do.
And Irene, you're well known in town now, right?
A fair bit.
Could you be starting a rumor that those the leech people all got killed off? Maybe that will send them into a panic if we leave a note in that room saying that, come to this location, we'll return your item to you. Maybe that's how we get him. Then our names are not attached, and he won't know what he's walking into.
I mean, Sheriff already knows that the 2 are dead, and there was a bit of a spectacle when they were cleaning it up.
but I mean, we need to get it out and loud what they were. So that he knows it's his people that are laying on that slab.
Uh. Hmm.
And then we leave the note where he's expecting it to be. It ain't there. He'll have to come to us then.
I have
Our
to.
rules.
I mean, if he's gonna go up there to find out anyway, why not just leave a note up there?
We need to make sure that he's the one getting the message, but it has occurred to me when I spoke to management on my way out that there had been a standing instruction not to clean that room.
Explains a bit.
Interesting.
I left instructions that it was time to clean the room when we left. Now, let's take that to its logical conclusion. When someone goes in to clean that room and sees the condition that we left it in, who are they likely to contact?
Whose ever name's under that reservation, right?
That would be one assumption. If they're in cahoots with John, they may go directly to him. If they're not, they may go to the sheriff, who we still suspect is in cahoots with John. So I believe the message that his couriers are no longer part of the equation may already be getting to him.
So we may be too late to be leaving him any kind of message.
Well, I believe the message has already been left.
Yeah, if we want something more specific, we could always put an ad in the paper saying we found a lost compact.
Found a lady's lost compact and
I believe there's a certain motivator who'd be willing to help us out in that regards.
And if you put my name on it, or at least the name John would know me by, which is still Hank, it would be a 1-2 punch of, oh crap, Hank's here, and oh crap, Hank's got the compact.
Which means if he knows where your little hideaway is, we have our designated battleground. I think a simple message. Dear John, found your mirror. Hank. Simple. The people who need to know will understand. And those who don't, well, they just think it's another one of those strange ramblings by the tombstone epitaph.
The question then becomes, I suppose, what sort of surprises are going to be prepared for him?
That is where we are now finding ourselves. Elizabeth,
mm-hmm.
I really do wish your brother were here for this, because I'm certain this is more than forte, but as he is not, I'll be relying on your knowledge of the arcane sciences.
I can do my best.
I think our biggest threat from John will be that tuning fork.
Agreed.
If he brings any more of his little leeches, we need to make sure that we also have a ready supply of golden bullets or gold-edged weapons of preference.
How many more bottles of that Holy Spirit do we have?
And this is going to be where Bang comes right back into it, fortuitously. And when Bang arrives,
Oh,
what he's wearing could definitely be called dapper.
oh, there
In
was something I wanted to do
pieces?
while I was upstairs in that room too. Actually, before I
Oh,
came back
what
down
was that?
after I found clothes. Yeah. So yeah, dapper and I love it. Okay, I want to see that now. But while I'm up there, I find other stuff in the room. Like I don't care, boxes, bits, shoes, socks. It doesn't matter, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's a lot of storage in
And
it.
I build a little model of the part of town that's got the hotel in it that Honest John's staying at, and then
Mhm.
like walk my fingers around in it like this. And okay, I remember when I was here, and then I slept back here, and I looked up and I saw the back of the building, and I saw okay, and then I went around here, and he's putting it back together in his mind. He's trying to figure out where the penthouse apartment, like where the windows are to the penthouse apartment, whether they're just up under the peak of the roof or whether they're a floor down or that sort of thing.
They're under a peak.
Okay.
They're protected. They've got a nice little sort of walking area,
Perfect. Yeah.
railing, very ornate up on the third floor.
Perfect. So then I'm going to spend some time thinking about making, basically, it's going to clamp to the edge of the roof, and it's going to be a long bar with a hammer on the end of it, and then behind the hammer a container of, I don't know, some unknown liquid, along with, say, a material of some sort that when swung will go over, break the window with the big hammer, and shatter the chemicals and the ghost rock into Honest John's room from the window outside. I have MacGyver as a skill. Oh, I think he's frozen, has he?
Did we lose everybody?
Oh, just you, I think.
Oh, yeah, everybody else froze. So obviously the problem's
Yay!
elsewhere. So,
So you heard none of that, I presume?
well, no, I heard you got up to the. What do you mean my internet connection is unstable? My internet connection is immaculate. Anyway, I heard about the hammer.
It's very
and
good,
the
but it's
window
worried
and-
about stuff. It's unstable.
Yeah.
So yeah, the hammer, and then break the window and smash the stuff inside. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. So,
All right.
and then I found clothes. Yeah.
And then you found clothes. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Give me a roll.
That right.
Give you some of that mad science.
This is. I mean, I'm basically just putting it together at this point, but
Yeah, just give me the roll to see how well the plan comes together in your head.
A 7.
Okay.
So 1 3/4 successes.
1 3/4 success. All right. So you've got an idea on how you can put it
Stretching.
together, but it could definitely use some refinement.
I'm gonna need some measurements. That makes sense.
And then when you come down, as I was saying, Bang is dapper
There
in
we go. Thank you.
pieces. Like each section, like he's got a really nice hat that does not. It's mauve, doesn't really match the bright blue over jacket, which definitely does not match the oddly mother of pearl undershirt. The slacks are puce
Ooh.
with a little bit of paisley edging.
Oh.
And the boots, I mean, they're the same size boot, and they look almost the same, but then you look and see one is sort of an Oxford style and the other is brogue. But yeah, I mean, you'd have to really look at them.
I'm ready for casual and dress situations here. Yeah.
Yeah, Irene's just gonna look back and forth between the two, between Bang and Hank, and just raise an eyebrow.
Just look inconspicuous.
Do you know what that Bang? Do you know what that word means?
Yes, it means you can't see my conspicuous. And I think it's covered. I'm not sure where one is though.
It's okay. You have your conspicuous is covered.
Oh, good.
You're good.
And
Well,
I think you'll find that it's best not to ask Bang for clarifications.
Mhm.
Conspicuous is the style, and Bang is in it, so I am inconspicuous.
Yeah, just some of the phrasing is
Yeah.
funny too, because first Bang found God, And now he's found clothes.
Yes, fashion.
It's called fashion, sweetie. Look it up.
So I figure if I get on the roof, I don't know what you guys are talking about down here, but if I get on the roof, I can chase everything out of that room, I think. Because I can either make it like poisonous, which will hurt everybody but him, or I can make it melt, which I think will hurt everybody and him.
Well, then we're trying to make sure that the battle is not where he will have the advantage. And anything we do in town is going to give him the advantage. But if we can draw him to Hank's place, plan still has met. Just different.
If I chase him out of the room and then Hank's standing at the end of the alley going, I got you like it, I got you like it. Let's keep it simple.
Well, we're going to draw him someplace out of town where he doesn't have the town folk to hide behind, as he has so often done in the past. But if we instigate this within the bounds of town, well, it severely complicates the matter.
So we'll get him
Yes.
on, get everybody on horses, and then go and then run out of town, and make him chase us, or chase you guys. I'll be under arrest for dressing like this on the roof of a nice hotel. Oh, and burning stuff and blowing stuff up and threatening a cop and stuff.
I would hazard to say that causing additional mass destruction after the saloon you set on fire
You do
would
what
not
now?
Yeah, I did, but it was just full of assholes, and I mean they can only hang you once.
well, no, they can hang you multiple times. They
Well, I
don't
mean,
have
it
to let
only-
you die the
It
first
only
time.
counts once unless they're really good timing.
Still, you don't want to take care of Honest John only to have yourselves painted as villains and hunted for, taking out the beloved figure that he has managed to build up the legend of.
And as has been apparent by other attempts to ruin his reputation here, regardless of what we do in public, if it affects Honest John in a negative way, regardless of the results, we're going to have that problem. But if we take him out to Hanks and deal with him there, and let the rumor mill do what the rumor mill does, then we won't all have to be looking over our shoulders for the rest of our lives.
Why don't we just melt him and blame it on, what was it you guys found? In his room, or in the room, after we fought the leech people?
It would be doable if we weren't within the confines of the town, because that is the wrinkle in all of our plans there. He has the advantage in town of the people in the town.
He has the sheriff under his thumb, or at least in his pocket. He's still considered something of a folk hero by all those people he hasn't screwed over yet. There are a number of reasons not to just, melt him or set his hotel on fire, at least not if it's likely that you're going to be caught doing it. Now, if you should lure him out of town and possibly find a way into his rooms and make sure that there's no other things he could fall back on, or maybe plant some sort of evidence of nefariousness, that could maybe work. But remember, this is also a very busy, high class, at least for Tombstone, a high class hotel with guests that may not be able to get out very quickly, even in the case of a fire. Should they die for your revenge?
No.
Okay, well, at least one of us feels really strongly about that, so I guess my plan's out.
Look, the the goal in a situation like this is not to become as bad as the evil you're fighting.
I already was.
We're trying not to think about that.
So then, Hen, would you be able to get your hands on enough gold for us to at least have a way of dealing with the leeches if any more show up?
I know a friendly metal worker or two. We can get some gold bullets and maybe some gold edged knives put together. It'll take maybe a day, so but obviously some more planning is still needed before we pull the trigger, such
Perhaps,
as it is.
perhaps some gold dust as well for Bane to add to his little surprises he likes to put together.
We could do that too. It will take a chunk out of my savings, but that's definitely better than, say, mass death and panic in town. Although that outfit might cause mass death and panic in town anyway.
Yeah, I'll say.
Well then, why don't we go about our business? Hank, you gather the gold that we'll need. Elizabeth, see what you can come up with to help protect against the tuning fork. Bang, prep your little surprises.
I got an
I mean-
idea for another one too. It's going to climb up the wall.
I mean, are you familiar with the tombstone epitaph?
The newspaper? I mean, I know it's there. It's probably not a good thing that my first thought was that would burn really well.
Hence, I'm asking Irene.
Irene, are you with us?
Yep. Sorry.
Okay.
If you'd be so kind as to take our little message to the editor of the epitaph, place in his paper for the next issuance. I'm not sure if he does them daily or weekly.
Irene, you would know they do it weekly, and the next issue will come out in about 2 days.
About 2 days from now, it should be the next weekly paper.
Well, there we go then. That gives us a week to make sure everything is in place.
2 days?
Yeah, you said it comes out in 2 days.
And then Lester said a week.
I heard a week, 2 days, 2 days.
Yeah. 2 days for the next weekly.
There we are.
There we go. All right, just making sure. I was like, because if we're extending this plan, okay, but
No, Lester heard a week.
no worries.
He's got bad hearing.
Yeah, the being around bangs for too long will do that to you.
Yeah, right. It's Bang. That's what did it, not his age.
But there was a plural there.
Yeah.
Unless anyone has anything else to add, I think we should get underway.
Are y'all wanting to stay here overnight, or were you going to go back to the camp outside town?
Well, Irene's gonna go back to her room.
No, that's fair.
I do think that it would be best if we stayed here rather than the camp so we can start getting our preparations underway.
I've got to get back to camp. I'm gonna have to collect some things from Edward before I can make too much thing. Too many.
In that case, I feel accompany you since none of us should be on our own for very long.
Especially Bang.
I gotta go back to it because I gotta get refills on stuff.
If I've learned anything about this group in the past few days, is that Bang really ought not to be left unsupervised.
I shouldn't
And-
even honestly be left supervised, to be fair.
And the truth is, no matter how you try to supervise him, he will eventually become unsupervised. So you can choose whether or not you wish to try to corral that gorilla at this point.
Well, all right then. Hank gets up and shows everybody out, unless there's any other final questions.
Elizabeth is gonna stop. Are you keenly attached to this place?
No, I bought this place because I knew eventually Honest John would be back here again.
Oh, good.
If I get my
Okay,
powers back, I'm back in the wind where I like to be.
All right. Because if I'm correct, Holy Spirit might be one of the only things that can keep him in place.
That is possible. And honestly, if I was attached to this place at all, I would never have agreed to let y'all try and lure him here. Not just because of Bang, mostly because of Bang, but not just because of Bang.
If
and
you
as
were
a
attached to this place, you wouldn't have let Bang in the first place.
yeah,
Un-
and
understandable.
yep. So y'all head. He escorts everybody out. Heads out on his way to speak to his friendly metal workers, and I guess y'all do just put Bang in the back of a wagon and try and tell him to keep his head down.
Hide my glory under the straw.
All right. Well, then people head back. Okay, no worries. People head back to the camp to collect things. Of course, we all know out of character that none of those things are going to be labels.
Mhm, mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Mhm.
Reason why
I
you
know who
should
the
join our
characters are.
Discord, I just put a colorized version of Bang in. I only put it in the cast chat, though, so everybody else is going to have to wait. Actually, no, wait, I'll put it in the other one, too. But yeah, I'll put it in the public chat, too.
Yeah, kind of like that.
See, fashion. You made it sound awful, and it's actually not awful.
No,
Why does that actually kind of work?
it does kind of
Ta-da!
work. But
Because
look,
the
That is
the
pure
hero
style.
fort doesn't really capture the mother of pearl shirts.
Oh, I made it
Yeah.
silver. That's as close as I could get. But
look, you did a good job, but I'm still not going to be calling you blue cheese because you
Oh,
be
no.
dressing. That's just
yeah.
not going to happen.
It's the two shoes. Your description of the two shoes is what tops this off. Well, bottoms this off, I should say.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the game.
Right. Yep. When you get back there, Edward is still working with plants and doing what he can. A lot of what he's growing is kind of in a delicate stage, so he's had to stay with it and just kind of trust that you all were gonna do the best that you could.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, yep. Religious objection to labels. Good old Amanda Beth.
Sure. That's it. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
we're
totally
heading out
not a vain thing.
Sorry, we're headed where then?
Back
So-
to the camp,
Perfect.
the
Yeah,
little mining.
Yeah.
Thing.
I got
and
3 things I want to build before we go back into town.
Yep.
Not
you
I'm
get
good.
there eventually. It takes you a little longer than normal. There are
things.
people out and about. There seems to be some agitation. Once again, something about a saloon fire and assault on a deputy, and possibly drunk and disorderly, and any other charges that they're going to be able to make stick. Which when the judge and the sheriff are in cahoots, it's pretty much anything, including indecent acts with an animal.
Yes. Being
but
Bang on a sunny day. I get it.
Yep. They
Yeah.
put up, you can see like on some of the posts on the way out of town, they already have not very good likenesses of what appears to be a very discombobulated, very angry, very thin priest of some sort,
Yeah, wearing a burlap bag.
wearing a burlap bag.
Wasn't potatoes. What was it? I
It
forget.
was a
It was
not
It was beans.
beans.
Beans, right?
beans,
Bag
yep.
of beans. Yep. Thank you.
Was it a bean bag that had held potatoes or a potato bag that held beans?
Either way, it was a disguise. You see how that works?
It was a beanbag that had held potatoes,
Ah, okay.
and yep, they're just calling him the
I should
The
have done an
Mad Bean.
Irish. I should have done an Irish accent.
the Mad
Potatoes,
Bean
yeah.
priest. It's not very
Yeah,
original, but
yeah.
it kind of gets the point across.
He's a few
You're
beans
asked
short of a
once or
bag.
twice by riders, did you see this guy? Do you see him? He probably would have yelled at you and thrown things. Smelled like potatoes, even though he was in a bean sack. We think he's Irish.
So I can't say that we have seen that in the village at all.
Try not to see him.
All right. Well, Irene wouldn't really see. I mean, Irene would see kind of around town some of the things going up because Fang is now Tombstone's most wanted. And while you're through town, you actually hear that the sheriff has been pushing the narrative that it actually was like that you stopped them, but it was rogue chupacabras that were attacking people.
I mean, they weren't fucking goats. They were,
Well, that's why they were rogue.
Crazy.
then
Oh, there's what we blame there.
chupacabra.
Yeah.
It's Spanish for goat sucker.
Yes.
Yeah. So they're also going to try and pin, being a chupacabra on
They've got an
Brother Bang.
adapter.
Yes.
Yeah.
What we're still forgetting, Irene, is that Tombstone is primarily populated by people who do not understand the Spanish language.
I mean,
Mm.
former Mexican, former Spanish Mexican territory.
The former is the operative word.
Yep. But nobody's really going to argue with it. It's the sheriff said, rogue chupacabras. They were saved by a local hero, stopped by a local hero. Everything's fine. No more of these gruesome, horrible deaths will occur. Yada yada. The narrative is being pushed, and he's the sheriff. He's got some clout.
Yeah, he's in the pocket. Yep.
Eventually, Irene, you make it back to your room. Do you have any big plans for the evening?
Sometime between now and when it gets published, she's gonna be going weapon shopping, but
Okay. Well, what are you looking for? Anything like super fancy and special, or just I need some more shotguns?
well, we saw the limitations with her pistols, and if she needs to fire more than 4 times.
It's true.
So probably a couple of revolvers with a speed load cylinder each.
You can find a pair of decent ones for $10, a pair of really good ones for $20, and if you're looking for the high end, mother of pearl inlaid handles, silver barrel, the whole thing, that would go for about $50 each. Depends on how fancy you're looking to get.
Functional.
Functional. All right. Well, just decide on which ones you're getting and how much or how many they are you want to pay for them, and you can just deduct that from your money. I'm gonna trust you on that. Everybody else, well, then you get back to camp. Like I said, no more interruptions. Nobody rides out looking for Bang. Nobody follows you out. Prospectors go out on random trails all the time. They only really worry about it if it seems like they found something, and y'all haven't been shouting from the rooftops, "We found gold!" or ghost rock or anything of any real value.
We found Bang!
Shh! Nobody's supposed to know where I am.
I mean, there's a $500 reward right now, so
You guys should turn me in. That's a lot of money. I mean, I would, and I'm me. I should turn myself in. Wait, how do I get the money? Anyway.
The question is, Bang, is how many towns you all wanted in?
Oh, all of them.
That is where we get the scheme going. We turn you in here, collect that reward, break you out, take you to the next town, collect the reward, break you out, and so on and so forth till we've hit every town in the territory and your value has increased that much more for each town you have escaped from.
Wow, I never had a career before.
All right.
Oh boy, I get this guy first.
Yep.
Yeah. I got
Lester,
I got
get a
two
Benny
guys.
for that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead and pull a chip.
Yeah.
I like it.
So yeah, once we get back to camp, I want to design again using my got to design it and then build it at some point. But a squirt gun with 3 chambers. One of them is Death Rock and Water. One of them is Ghost Rock and Water, and the other one is Holy Spirit. And they're just like the pump guns, where you squirt. And then the other thing I want to make is like a little clawed crawler that'll crawl up the side of a building, and then fake bullet holes in a window. So just like it's a smaller version of the arm, but it just comes up and pokes a hole in the window and makes a sound like a bullet, and then pokes another one. So I want to make it, if I use it, it crawls up the window and it looks like Honest John's room's getting shot at from outside.
Okay. So we'll start with you on those. Give me some rolls.
All right. So
Okay,
for the
nice
squirt
roll.
gun,
You're trying to invent a super soaker
yeah,
several hundred years before.
11 on the super soaker, the 3-channel super soaker, and
Okay.
the crawler is a 4. So 1 success on the crawler.
All right. So the super soaker seems to turn out pretty well. You managed to rig something up with bladders and leftover tubing and scrap metal.
And I label the bladders.
Ah!
Yeah.
Elizabeth looks at you in disappointment.
No, you just hear that looks so tacky.
What you're failing to understand is he labels the bladders.
Yes, all 3 of them.
Elizabeth still sneaks in the middle of the night and removes the labels.
So
And then
tacky.
the crawler was only 1 success. So
Yeah,
got
the crawler
like
is
a plan, but not a prototype.
yeah. It'll probably work for 1 or 2 bullets, but beyond that, or bullet
that's-
holes, but beyond that, you're
That's plenty.
not sure. So we've got that going.
Cool.
Amanda Beth, are you trying to whip something up specifics and specific brews, or just kind of restock potions, or?
So she's definitely restocking her acid that she uses all the time. And I think the other ones are just a kind of like, I know this is what we've done in the past, and I'm just hoping that this works.
All
Because
right.
I am not the creator. I am just the one that thinks of the ideas.
All right, I'm gonna let you roll for Edward to help like combine
Oh, no.
familial brewing.
Oh no, I don't know what his stuff is. Oh no. Okay.
I'm gonna give you roll your
Heaven.
bad science, alchemy, whatever, with a +2 from him assisting.
Okay. Yeah, I have a D8 in science, so 5.
Okay, well, I mean that's 1 success. You're pretty sure most of what you got is gonna do what you think it does. It's just gonna be more fun for me when you get to using them. So I mean, it's a
Yep.
win-win all around.
Mhm.
Lester, what are you doing while you're back there? Did you have any extra prep you wanted to do while you're in the camp?
Not much prep that I can do. Right now, I'm relying on Bang, Irene, and Elizabeth to do their things.
Well, the good news is Edward's managed to whip up a little, like 2 more bottles of the Holy Spirit, but he's starting to run low. But he gets them bottled and set out for y'all, and I'm gonna go ahead and say Since he's kind of the most trustworthy one out of everybody at the camp, he's going to give Lester a little poultice that pre-made. He's like, this will help with pretty much anything non-fatal. It's not an instant healing, but it has a few little infusions and special aspects that could save a life.
This won't melt me if I put it on.
No, it won't melt you if you put it on. I have it very. He's like, looks around. It's labeled. Just very quietly. He's like, what it does, how to do it. And then you'll be fine.
Right. Well then,
Nope.
I suppose I should make sure my firearm is in working order.
Well then, I would say the rest of the evening passes. Morning comes around. If they're more prep, or if you're going to go back into town, what's kind of the plan for the day? The actual newspaper isn't going out until the day after, so you've got one more day before the newspaper goes out, and you've really got to kind of commit.
I want to get a better idea of the layout of Hank's home and the surrounding land. I don't want to be caught by surprise by anyone sneaking in a way we didn't expect.
Oh, the good thing is the way that the house is laid out, there's plenty of clear space around it. It's set pretty far back. It's far back enough that you almost can't really consider it part of Tombstone, but it's still within what's considered claimed by Tombstone. The layout of the land is pretty well placed. It's one of those layouts where it's pretty easy to sneak out and around to get into town. But when you're in the house actually looking out, you can see into a lot of the little gullies and ravines that just seem to be somehow coincidentally a little higher on the side of Tombstone. So there's a lot of cover to get around to get to Tombstone. A little harder to get back, but Hank's not worried about that. He's definitely just been more worried about, being seen coming and going and seeing people coming and going. There are windows facing each of the cardinal directions on the second floor. The first floor, there are a couple small windows for the sitting room. Then no real other windows except a small one over the kitchen area in the back. He's got the little cellar where there's alcohol and the Holy Spirit currently stored, which, you can keep an eye on pretty well so nobody's breaking in there. There's really, like, anybody approaching, especially like a mob, is going to be seen well before they get to the house.
I don't believe you'll be bringing a mob with him, but having a lay of the land is still to our advantage. So
It's true. It's true. He has a lot of oil lamps available as well. Oil lamps and reflectors. Seems like a lot of the place was set up for to be very easy for there not to be shadows.
very good. We'll make sure that those are all prepped as well, that they have plenty of oil. The reflectors are in position.
Yep. And it's stuff like the beds are actually on like enclosed boxes. Other than once again stuff in the sitting room, a lot of the chairs are solid constructions. They would look pretty odd anywhere else, but since you know why they were built and what they were built for, it's all pretty much easy. Well, I'll shift this around, no shadows anymore. I'll set this here. There's nowhere to go except maybe up here under the chair, and there's not enough room for a human to be under that chair and no good way to get out.
Good.
And he will just give you the run of the house. It's pretty clear he's he'll help out when he can, but he's making trips too. He's trying to get. He makes it clear he's putting in orders with a couple different metal workers and such, trying not to make it clear, that he was putting in just one huge order for a bunch of golden bullets here and a huge order for golden knives and gold dust and everything. He's just trying to spread it out and not leave as much of a trail.
Just a field of breadcrumbs.
Yeah, just enough of a trail that Honest John can follow back to where we need him to be.
Exactly.
Are there flares in this world, like the railway flares, where you strike them and they light?
They have Ghost Rock versions.
Okay. Can somebody who's not wanted for, like, hanging from their neck until they're dead sort of stuff, please get us like a dozen or so of those flares? They'd be good for lighting up the yard and keeping down shadows.
Or throwing off tons of shadows, but Irene's not there, so.
Well, my first thought was to light a fire that goes all the way around the house, but that's probably overkill.
Still not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Wow, the
That would
one
trap
time
it.
I pull back from the brink.
Wait, Bang can have not bad ideas?
I have lots of good ideas. Most of them are just exceptionally violent and there's no consideration of consequences.
Yep.
Well, then,
I'm also strangely self-aware.
I believe, being that you and I have a bit of a trench to be digging, then
Yeah, and
Yep.
then we need something to fill it with.
I mean, would it be that hard to use one of Edward's and my creations?
well, there's plenty of mesquite wood out here as well that we can put in that trench, and then use your creations to make sure it burns high and bright.
And I have a fair amount of alcohol in the cellar that you could also use.
Oh, that's nice,
soak
but
the
we're
wood.
planning. We shouldn't drink until after. Oh,
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah. Kind of surprised your mind went to drinking first and not, pyrokinetics.
Well, you said lots. I assumed there was enough for both. And no, we're not making a Holy Spirit motor on Hank's house. We haven't got that much. The thought
No,
crossed my
there's not
mind,
that
but we
much.
only have a couple gallons left.
Yeah. It needs
you
to
could
be
make a
used.
mode, it'd just be a pretty pathetic mode.
Yeah, it'd be like that
Oh.
river in Robin Hood Men in Tights. You could
But
just
if-
kind of step over.
If that.
If we soaked the welcome mat in it, their feet would turn to stone when they knocked on the door.
If they're barefoot.
No, their shoes.
If they're leather.
Wow, you're making this tough.
As Bang invents the cement galoshes.
Yeah,
Yeah, if only we had a deep body of water to push
the
them in.
sticky bottom. Yeah, the sticky bottom feet. But yeah.
Technically, we do. There is a river not far away,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but how deep is it?
deep enough if you can't sit up.
So to be clear, we're gonna chase him out of his room, / attract him with the locket, bring him back here, kick his ass, malign his name, and walk away as heroes.
Now, the third part is a fringe benefit if it succeeds, but the first two are more or less on point.
At this point, I think y'all be lucky if you walk away not, maligned and hunted for the rest of your lives.
Obviously, aside with just walking away and notice.
Yeah.
Has anyone created anything that ties him to the Himitan people? The leash people.
Yes, the room that he rented.
And the locket, right?
Well,
Didn't
the
we get
locket
that off one
itself
of
is
them?
with us, but as for the people, his he rented their rooms. The best we can do is point folks to this unusual state of the room, which has already been done. We've also put in the groundwork for him to be tied into the train robbery. After all, those pistols still have not yet been found, and if they're found in his room,
Indeed.
Just making sure we're crossing our T's and dotting our I's.
So we know what the bait is. Who's waving it in the air and running?
in this case, that's the letter that's going to be put in the epitaph.
Doesn't that give him time to plan?
He could, but taking a bit of a chance on that. But something tells me that as soon as he knows where it's at, he's going to not want to take any chances that Hank can figure out how to use it against him. Time will be of the essence, so to say.
Given time, I think I probably could find a way to use it against him, but it would take quite some time, and by then he might find some other new trick or shiny magical toy to steal from someone.
Speaking of
Definitely better to lure him.
Speaking of toys, Bang sits down on the ground again and starts grabbing stuff off tables and building another one of these little worlds and walking around in it with his fingers. Okay, so how can we separate him from his people? How can we, if I'm up here on the roof, can I separate him from his people? No, I can't really. And he just, like, he's trying to figure out how to separate, if John brings help, how to separate them from John. I'll let you know as soon as he comes up with a solution. It might be a minute.
Most effective way to separate an individual from each other is a good spray of shotgun pellets.
Well, I will say an idea that I had. And so she'll start walking everyone around the house. So I'm thinking if we put a bottle of Holy Spirit right above this door, when they come in, it'll come down and splash on one of them. Whoever's coming in first. If it's John, it's John. If it ain't, it ain't.
Oh, what if it's one of us?
Don't come through the door.
I feel like there should only be
Exactly.
one person in the house. Like they should be home alone. Yeah.
Yes, whoever. Yes, that is kind of her
Yeah.
idea. Is
Oh, we both
Home
got there at the
Alone.
same time, Bison. Yeah.
Except for we're not home alone.
No.
There are 4 of us.
Yes.
I think that stars a different coven.
So, and just basically saying like, we'll put a bottle here, and this one I think we have something that might burn them if I throw it at them hard enough. So one of us can stand up here, at the top of the stairs. I don't know where else they'll be coming in from. Is there a second entry, Hank?
Yeah, there's the back door kitchen. There's the front door kitchen, the back door, or the front door, the back door out the kitchen way, and the cellar. Those are really the only ways into that. I mean, unless they break through the windows here in the sitting room, or if they manage to get up to the second floor, there are windows up there. But those are the only official entrances.
We need to have traps on every single one of them entrances.
I rely once again on your and Bang's expertise in that area.
But I thought we wanted him in the house. And then everybody else outside.
Yeah, that sounds about right. So they'd have to be some traps where they could be armed or disarmed by somebody else. Like if you see John coming and he's by his lonesome, you can disarm them at least till he gets in.
And then we
Because
can
knowing John, he's not just gonna walk bold as brass through the front door and get, water bucketed or whatever.
But
He'll-
the other idea is we know he's going to be expecting it to be a trap. So by having the traps in place, we are just meeting his expectations.
That is fair.
Well, I wasn't going to meet his expectations. I was going to go beyond them.
That is also fair.
Oh, I think I answered my question from earlier, and I'm still sitting on the floor playing with my little thing. But you look over, and the little walking bang is actually quite a ways away from the house. If you guys start all those shenanigans, and then I attack all the hench persons from behind, that should split their attention.
And if Irene can find a place to sit with a rifle at a good distance away, that should also draw their attention.
Oh, there are some good places, like some good windows that could be set up as a nice sniper spot of a sort. Not many hills super close, because once again, Hank wanted
Yeah.
a lot of clear open area around, but there are places that Irene could post up, or go full military sniper and just kind of go to ground and then pop up and start shooting.
She's built more as a quick draw, two-gun shooter, but
So
fact,
yeah,
that's
then probably
what
inside
she
the
was shopping
house.
for.
Probably
Yeah,
one of the
probably
windows
inside the
inside on the
house
ground
then.
floor, maybe.
That is your strength, and inside the house would be better. But yes, being on the outside, creating more distractions would definitely be to our advantage.
And for what I have in mind, or for what Lester and I have in mind, two-gun better than one.
Yep.
Because it's hard to hit something with a tuning fork when the tuning fork when it's shot out of your hand.
And that is my hope and prayer.
Yep. Hank will drop off while you guys are still discussing and planning. He'll drop off the first round of gold bullets. And it's like, just be careful, these things aren't accurate in a long distance. There's gold that's going to deform a little oddly compared to lead. I'll be back with the knives and the gold powder a little later.
Irene, go ahead and take what you need for your pistols.
Yeah, she'll probably take at least a revolver full.
All right. It's a couple different calibers and what appears to be a few shotgun shells full of
Gold shot.
gold shot. Well, a combination of gold and regular shot to flesh it out.
Well, I'll be taking those.
I'll do proper shopping for new guns off session because
Yeah, no worries.
Can I get just one of those shotgun shells, please, Lester? Actually, more precisely, just the little gold balls in it. You can have all the lead ones back.
Take what you need.
Thank you. And I'll pick the gold balls out of one of them.
All right. Just make a note of it. I probably won't remember.
Gold
Fang
shot.
has gold balls. Note.
Tiny gold balls. Gold shot.
Tiny gold
balls. Yeah.
You don't need big brass ones.
Yes.
Yep.
I mean, there's what I just said in Twitch chat. That's actually a thing.
And then, yeah, Bank's just going to, I think, just rest after that. Just get ready.
All right. Anybody else have any special big things Nope, just trapping the house and
Yeah,
waiting.
I
Um,
might get in a little shooting practice with her new guns, but
Elizabeth will have probably written a note um to give to Hank. Just in case anything goes wrong, make sure this gets to Edward.
Like, and takes it and he's like, tucks it away. He's like, it won't come to that. And honestly, if y'all don't make it, I probably won't either. But if by any chance I can deliver the letter and you don't make it, I'll make sure it's delivered.
Yeah, probably for the best, honestly, with my luck, it seems nowadays.
Your luck can't be all bad. I mean, you could have been caught and hanged for the train robbery.
I actually wasn't there for that. I got sick and missed it.
wow, I didn't know any of these folk back then.
Yeah.
Well, then, the trench should be about 3 to 4 feet deep and same in width, filled
Okay.
with mesquite, soaked with the Edelweiss's formula. And then the trench will be covered with burlap sack and ground debris to hide it so that no one is aware that it's there until they're inside of it.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you being for reading Leinigans Ants in grade 7.
Yep.
It didn't work with ants, but never mind. Shh.
Well then, I think we might draw the curtain a little early then,
Yeah.
since we
seems
got all
like
the
it's-
planning
yep.
and don't have enough time to really get
Okay.
into the meat
Yep.
of anything else.
Yeah, well, you probably want hopefully have all 5 of us here.
Yes. We'll have to
Hopefully.
convince somebody to call in sick.
Yeah.
But
Like if it was just one time.
but
Yep.
yes, if you are dropping the curtain on the evening, we can do the thank yous here. Let's do them in a completely different order than we did on the way in. Let's start with Amethyst. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for bringing the guns. I feel like your character is going to come into their own next week when we really start shooting holes and stuff. So thank you for joining us. It's been a joy to have you with us.
Thank you.
Okay. Sarah, thank you as always. It is as much fun to try and make you laugh as it is to play with you, and that's saying something because you're great fun to play with. So thank you for both of those things. I like people that wear their emotions, I was going to say on their sleeve, but it's on your face. You know, it's just wear them right out there and just like be the emotion, and I love that honesty.
Yeah.
Thank you. Shadowmancer, thank you so much for joining us. I know you got a lot going on in your world, on table and off, and I appreciate every time you're able to come here and join us. You are the planner that this party desperately needs, because the rest of us are chaos goblins. So you've kept us on track and probably alive for most of this campaign. So thank you for that.
Yep.
And cat herder extraordinaire, a PhD, which piled higher and deeper means something different when you're talking about cat litter boxes. But you got a PhD in cat herding for sure. Thank you so much, Batcow, for running this for us. I love the Deadlands world, and I really like the twist that you've put on it. I appreciate it a lot. Thank you.
And well, thank you for bringing the chaos and oddly self-aware meta
Yeah.
ball of explosions and ungovernableness that is Bang.
Well, I keep almost forgetting and then remembering at the last second that smarts is actually his highest stat. So, but
Yep,
yes.
Smarts and wisdom are not the same thing.
No, they are most certainly not. Neither is smarts and keeping your mouth shut. But thank you for the thank you. Two more left for chat. Thank you everybody in chat for enjoying this game. Tonight was clearly one of those setup nights, and those are they're good fun because you got to keep track of everything. So thank you guys for sticking with us. The big finally next week. I know I've used that joke before, but I'm going to use it again. So thank you. And in YouTube land, please, if you watched all the way to here, hit that like button because we're going to assume you did. And other than that, it's time to say, until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Night, y'all.